Hello, everyone, and welcome to J and Two Randos. No, it's actually me and two randos. And today we're gonna have an interesting topic. We're gonna talk about, since we're all old folk here, we're gonna talk about things that we're nostalgic for, things from back in the 80s and 90s that, we miss. So let's get started with Kal-El.
What?
Oh, come on. Tag,
I'm like,
tag.
yes, exactly. See, he just said tag. I'll let you. You can pick those games from growing up.
I mean,
Um,
sometimes you're so nostalgic, you forget what you're nostalgic about. I mean,
that
that's
is that
but
is correct.
what I am most nostalgic about, or I wanted to pass on to the future generations, was Toys R Us, not the little satellite store that you know today. I'm talking about the Toys R Us from the 80s, the first trap that a little kid learns what it is to be real life matters. And that comes in with joy and says, "Oh my God, can't do anything with themselves when they see all them toys." You know what I mean? And it
Yep.
and it could go both ways. It could be, I'm gonna get a good toy right here, or I'm gonna get punished because I'm gonna act up. And for me, it was nostalgic in two ways because I remember like my own mom lifting me up to push me in a shopping cart so I could get a Michelangelo toy. And then the lady trying to offer me money to get Michelangelo. Of course, I didn't know the value of money. This is Michelangelo, man. You go find your Michelangelo, man. Because I'm getting all four turtles today. That's the good life.
Yeah, who takes you to Toys R Us and then get you one turtle?
Oh, you'd be surprised. Some people only want one turtle. But I saw the Michelangelo pinned against like a Splinter and a Shredder and some other, and I was like, "Ma, I think it's right there." And she lifted me up, put me in strength, and I got in there because I wasn't always this big and beautiful. People, I was skinny. J Bones, J Morte, we all the same. But anyway, I got my Michelangelo. I thought it was the greatest thing. I was only able to give it to my goddaughter, but in Walmart in just a 2 aisle segment. And that was great.
Mhm.
She was like, "Oh, look at all these dolls." And she got one doll. She got all the rainbows, everything she wanted. And then she
Mhm.
saw Frozen dolls and she threw all the rainbows apart and said, "Yo, I'm getting them Frozen dolls." And I'm like, that's Toys R Us for you. That's like, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm nostalgic about. Just missing Toys R Us and the fun. And even getting older and just going in there by yourself with a little bit of money and
Yep.
being able to buy something, you're like, yeah. Or
To be
even
clear,
Samuel.
to be clear, that would still be the case now if Toys R Us was still around.
I, re- I,
I would
I
still be
remember.
going inside with a little bit of money and trying to buy something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I got one for you. I got one for you. Um, Eastern.
As in Eastern Airlines.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like the airline.
Yo, I didn't even know. I was
Yeah.
like, Eastern what? Eastern Standard Time? And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yep.
Eastern
Eastern
Standard
Airline. You
Time.
see, and I said like that intentionally, right? Because like people are going to be like, "What the hell is Eastern?" Because they weren't around when Eastern was around. Eastern. So let me tell you a little something about this airline. It even had a cool jingle. Eastern, we earn our wings every day. You remember that?
No, I've never
Yo,
heard that
Lord.
before.
we're
Okay.
educate the people that's uneducated
So
about
let me tell
Eastern.
you
Where
about
did it fly out?
Eastern.
Yeah.
Eastern was an airline that when you flew on it, they used to give you these little wings. If you're a kid, they used to come around and hand out these little wings that you used to like pin on your shirt. But the more important thing is when you're a kid and you fly on Eastern, you could actually ask to go meet the pilots and the people in the cockpit. And so as a kid, like they would take you up front, you get to see the pilots inside there, and you get to see it used to be fantastic. And Like now you can't even like I don't even think the door to the
No,
plane can open anymore.
no. You
Where,
know,
where,
like
did, where did Eastern fly out of?
Like
the
pilots go
Eastern,
in there and then they
the
weld the
Eastern
door
United
shut
States. It was
for
a
every
rival to
flight.
American Airlines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
I just point to the west for east? I was like three east.
Well, it depends on where you're pointing to.
Because well, to be clear, they also had a Western.
Yes, they also had Western. Yep.
But
Yeah, but we grew up with
Eastern
Eastern.
was the
Yeah.
best.
Mhm.
Mostly because we're in the Caribbean, and that's on the east side of the United States, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
We
Yep, that is
we we
correct.
only really used to see Eastern.
One of the
And
only
so
airlines that's still left that's like that is Northwest Airlines.
do they only
Same,
fly to
same.
the Northwest?
Correct. So does Alaska.
Alaska
Alaska,
Airlines is good.
yeah, Alaska is decent.
Mhm.
Yep, Alaska is decent, but there are no Eastern. Like
They're
the
no
people them used to
Eastern.
be super nice, but again, I think like they were like, catered towards like fun experiences for kids.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably why it stuck in my head. But yeah, so
All right.
Eastern is one of the things I miss.
All right. My thing that I'm gonna bring up is house parties. Uh so
Wait, they don't have house parties anymore?
not like how we had house parties. House parties
Yeah,
now, no one is dancing. No one is rubbing the shirt colors off of people's shirts onto the walls. No one is
correct.
knocking down walls.
You know
No
that was the
one is
funny
doing
thing
anything like this.
about the house parties we used to have, right? Because like when you knew you had a house party coming up, you went straight to the store and you bought
Mhm.
a brand new shirt and you wanted it to be so perfect that you would
Splash.
not wash it before putting it on. You just wear
Hmm.
an undershirt and then boom, the shirt over it so that like the factory colors are there. But then what would
Hmm.
happen is you'd be in there and you'd be like dancing. Everybody would be so clumped up on each other. It used to be hot and like you're
Hmm.
dancing with somebody and then all of a sudden like you move away and both of your clothes now look like a tie-dye shirt
Hmm.
because all
Yep.
of the ink would just yeah, it used to be
Yep.
really but I, I wonder if like I don't know, did America have house parties the way we used to have house parties to begin with?
Yes, they
I mean,
do.
we all had
They,
house parties, man.
Mm,
I mean, it was just different. I mean, but we coming from a generation with the house party with no cameras. So, the way we tell the story is always going to be glorious, man. Nobody's going to tell you about the hot sweat of perm that permeated in the air and the deodorant because we were just bopping. And you know why people were dancing? Because they knew there were no camera.
yeah, that's
Cameras,
fair.
that
so everybody was
that
like,
might be
yo,
true, yeah.
Mm.
nobody see my best moves.
So what so what
I
Jay
would
is saying is the camera ended the house party scene.
Hey, listen, I was the same at the house party that I'm at every party. I rented a tile. But back then, they would dance with you.
Did you just say
90s,
you rented a tie?
rented a tile, meaning I stood still against the wall.
Oh, rented a tile. Oh, I was like, you
Rented a
rented a tie
tile.
to go to the house? I was like,
That's
what?
another Caribbean phrase, man. Let me hit you with
Rented a
it.
tile.
I rented the tile. You see my spot? Once I was on the spot, that was it. You know? And that's when you knew good songs was coming on where people knew to dance. Now you're bopping your
You
head.
bobbing your head, yeah.
You don't see nobody dancing, nobody walking up, and they be like, "Yo, this girl over there looks good." Now, universally, being nostalgic, not everybody
It's
knew.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Like I went to a party here, right? And like you see a clump of guys over here and like a clump of girls over there. And
Hmm.
then like the girls are acting like they don't see any guys around, and the guys are like standing there, like looking at the girls, like I'm a dance with one of them.
I
Yeah,
DJed for a party like that about a
I'm a
year
dance with
ago,
one.
and the same thing
Like,
happened. And the guys were on one side, the girls were on the other side, and it was
Well,
in a
they do
small
mental.
gymnasium, and the guys just started playing basketball, and the girls just stood there, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" Music and everything blasted, lights are low and everything. They just started playing basketball and started even talking to the girls.
mm,
They didn't even bother talking to them. I was like, "What is going on?"
yeah, I wonder why that is.
Because
I
before,
think
without cameras, it was a dress check, right? You had to look spliff. Now it's a social media check. Let me
Spread.
check social media. You know, let me check. Let me check what happened.
Speaking of things I miss, Spraff.
Old words.
Yeah, those old words.
I would say spliff, or he said spliff. I say fresh.
Sprat.
You're missing all of those words. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
Give us another word that you don't hear anymore.
Bubblers.
butters. It's butters.
That was
That
bubblers.
is dope.
I think people still say dope because that came back.
Chris.
Yes,
You
that's
remember,
Chris. That's
I
Chris.
That's
do
Chris.
remember that
You know what I
one
said
bubble.
yesterday at work? I said, let me give you a pound. This girl was like, the fuck is a pound? I was like, oh, a dab.
A
You
dab.
should, you
A
see,
dab.
you should pull out the currency like here, look. That is crazy. Okay, we got one from Jay. From Jay, we got one from me. We got one from Kal-El. I guess we're back around to Jay.
What am I nostalgic for? You know what?
Hmm.
I'm nostalgic for, and I'm gonna be at SS and full disclosure have the same one, so I gotta say it. Scheduled TV. TV.
This is why I shouldn't be giving out my list.
No. It was even if he didn't give out his list. Again, I gotta bring in my goddaughter. You know what I mean? I asked her what's her favorite show. She said, "Okay." I'm like, "Okay, what time you want to watch the show, or what time it comes on?" Here I said, "What time it come on?" She's like, "Hope it comes on anytime. What time you want? Anytime you want to watch it." That's why they be trying to, they be trying to wonder why these kids is never on time today. They don't care because they got so much space to watch everything.
Yeah, binge.
And
I blame Netflix.
yeah, you could
A
blame
lot of people
Netflix.
blame Netflix.
You could blame the
Jay,
internet.
yours was supposed to be Blockbuster.
No, but I never really went to Blockbuster. I mean, listen, the only
Or
thing
the
they
mom and pop video store. So you were supposed to say that. And then you could have said Netflix. Those people blame Netflix too. You
The
understand?
mom and pop videos. I'm
Video
trying to
Shack, yo.
remember the last
Video
time I
Shack.
saw a mom and pop video store. They used to literally they bought a satellite so they could catch channels. They used to literally record the channels and populate their video store with it.
oh that who did that?
Exactly. That's some serious bootlegging. I don't know who do
How do
I
you
mean,
mean? I
bootlegging back then.
can't put the people on blast. What's wrong with you? That's the last time I heard of a mom and pop video store. Like we used to watch we used to watch weekend cartoons they used to play. I see an example of one behind you there, SS. And we always used to watch it like they just used to record
Starscream
all
is
of
the
the
man.
cartoons. Yeah, he cool. Used to record
Well,
all the cartoons that played in a row, and we used to see the exactly that order. And then like the commercials. Do you remember?
Mhm.
Like 588 to
Two,
300.
300. Empire today.
Empire with the Floors, man. I remember.
Mhm.
See, I would be nostalgic for that. Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Yep.
Now today is all day cartoons if you want. You know what I'm saying? You're in your own world. You can't. There's no schedule. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for generation with alpha, beta, and all. They're like, yo, why are we showing up to work?
No,
Mhm.
no, no,
Because
no. It's gonna be worse, right? Like instead of watching Saturday morning cartoons and everyone's together and having fun, they're just gonna like plug a thing into the back of their head and upload all the cartoons and like I'm good.
yeah, we already seen it. I mean,
We talked
it,
about it last week.
2 weeks ago.
No,
Oh no,
Matrix Week was last
last
week.
week. Yeah, last week was Matrix Week. Yeah,
yeah, but I'm saying it's always the Matrix. We're always plugged in or plugged out.
hmm
You know.
All right.
I mean,
So
also being nostalgic for when the event moment. So SS, you could talk about the event moment. You love movies. You could talk about
See,
the
so
event.
Oracle, just for your knowledge, my
mhm.
answer number two was supposed to be TV shows and movies all premiered at the same time so that we could all watch them at the same time and
Mm,
then have a discussion about it. Like, did you see what happened? Like, the perfect example of that is with The Matrix. I have
mm,
more recent examples with other movies, but with The Matrix, for example, Fast and the Furious, I would always get together as big a group as possible to just go to the movie so we can all watch it together and have like massive discussions about it. I still
Do you
technically do it today.
remember?
I got one coming up next week. I got at least four people coming with me. So
Do you
yeah.
I mean,
remember when we went to the movies? We went to see something that was supposed to be a really good movie. It was a whole large group of us, and we couldn't get in because the movie was full. Yeah, because that's something that
Mhm.
doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I forgot about that. You couldn't get
but
into the
yeah,
like
movie because all the
because
we
seats were
everybody
sold out.
buys ticket
we
seats right
couldn't
away.
get into the movie because the movie was full. And we were like, well, we had back on the island we had the movies one and movies two.
Mhm.
So movie theater one was full, and movie theater two had this show that like no one heard of, and we were like, let's go inside and see that show. Do you remember what that show was?
Primal Fear. That happened to us with Fear and Primal Fear. They both came out at the same time, and we
Hmm.
wanted to see one, and we accidentally saw the other one. I know
But
that happened then.
yeah, but we also did it with seven.
Okay, yes, I do remember that.
Seven.
That's why
We
Primal Fear
went
came out.
to
Yeah,
movie number one and we were like, we're gonna see that movie. And like when we got up with all of us, we were like, yo,
yeah,
I hold all of you people. You
yeah.
guys are gonna have to find something
I
else to
do
do.
remember that
And
shit. I rewatched
we were
seven.
like, what else is playing then? We're already here.
Mhm.
So they're like, yeah, this other movie is playing seven. And we went to see seven. And man, seven turned out to be better than the
That's it.
movie that
I
we
don't even remember what the other
were
movie is. Yeah,
don't even remember.
yeah.
It was like a big deal to see that movie, and we were like, "Yeah, we have to." And then after we came out to seven, the people were like, "What? That happened?" And they were like, "We
Yo,
gotta go see that one."
yo, yeah. I do remember that shit. Yeah.
Seven was a good movie, but
Seven was a good
bringing
movie.
bringing back movie nostalgia, SS will remember it. So New Year's Eve movie night,
Mhm.
one of the best moments ever. Continued for a number of years because
Mhm.
nobody was at the movies. We didn't want to go party. We didn't want to do anything. We went to the movies. I think one year we saw Krampus.
Krampus, yeah. Crap.
Krampus.
We didn't
And
see
we
crap.
did not and we did not care about the fact that there were seven people in there. We were walking and running around. Don't worry, people,
We
we
were
weren't
old
being
and we weren't running, but we were like talking.
yeah. We were talking like it was in the living room. Like, what
Running.
kind of show is
Yeah.
this? And
Yeah.
we were just having good comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then after
Mhm.
that, we went to the diner. I mean, that you get nostalgic for that because sometimes you're like, why am I going to the movies?
Mhm.
The movie come out too quick. Man, I was thinking of seeing Accountant 2 the other day and I saw it on Prime just pop up. I'm like, oh, no, don't need to go nowhere. Click,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
so there was no Netflix and chill, so or any streaming service
I
and chill.
mean, there was Netflix and chill. It just was at a movie theater instead.
Yeah, with air conditioning.
Yep.
Cool. The original cooling center. Be like, yo, it's hot. Let's go.
So, okay, Kal, what do you miss next?
Is my turn already?
Yep.
What do you mean? Actually, we skipped you once.
I
And we
don't.
brought you
I
back.
have no idea what direction this is going. But my next one up was sleepovers. That like you could just be like, you know what? I'm too tired to go home. Let me just chill. And you sleep over and you just talk about whatever, anything and whatever until sun come up. And then you go,
Listen,
oh, shit, I didn't go sleep.
we, I don't know how, when we were growing up, we survived the fact that we sleep, like when the weekend hit, we slept not at
Sleep.
all. We
Oh, you.
did not sleep.
Oh, you, man.
We used to go from Friday. We used to come by someone's house, bring all our clothes and everything and just pull up by someone's house. We all used to eat. We all used to get in the cars. We used to go out to the club and we
Nova
get to
Prime
the
is joining.
club and it would be like partying from Friday night, and then Sunday it was when we actually all like went to the beach. We come out of the club We party straight through until Sunday, and then Sunday morning we went to the beach. There'd be a huge beach party, and then after that, we all used to just pile up in that same house where we started and sleep for the first time. Like weekend long parties. It used to be crazy.
Hmm.
What's up, Mr.
Hey,
Prime?
no,
What's going on, people?
We got
We're
10
talking
minutes
about
left. Go ahead, Oracle.
we're talking about things that we're nostalgic about, things that you can't really do anymore that you used to do back when you were younger.
I mean, you guys may already touched on this, but Kyle's background definitely makes me nostalgic for Saturday morning cartoons.
Mhm.
oh,
You see?
what were your Saturday morning cartoons, Nova?
So, what did I have? Aside from the typical stuff like, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, what else did we do? Jackie Chan Adventures,
Oh,
seriously
I remember
underrated.
those. Yeah.
Uncle!
Yes. What else was there? Like Shaolin Showdown, Beyblade, things like that. And if on a rare occasion, like G.I. Joe or Transformers.
Hmm.
So things like that, yeah. And
G.I. Joe.
nothing went better with it than a nice bowl of cereal.
Mhm. I had a big
And
bowl
that's
just
what they
before
were.
this started.
That's what they
Yeah.
were the advertising. A nice bowl of cereal.
There used to be an unusual amount of cereal commercials.
Yeah, it was like Agent. Man, that's a good, great category game to play. How many cereal companies,
Commercials can you name?
cereal brands, and all that? It's
I'm
tons.
not going again.
I'm nostalgic for Cookie Crisp now that you say that. It's like a chocolate chip cookie cereal.
Yeah. And what
You
was the
remember
other one?
Count
Honeycomb.
Chocula?
Honeycombs. Yep.
Yeah.
Count Chocula's still
Count
around.
Chocula.
He comes around
Is it
during, yeah, he comes out for
You know,
Halloween.
only for a
Franken,
cereal that's only
Franken,
available on Halloween?
it's a seasonal cereal. Frankenberry also comes out for Halloween.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I
That's
don't know.
crazy. Can you
But Tony
imagine?
the Tiger is great. He comes out
yeah,
every day.
he's
Great.
He has a little shrinkflation from the 80s though. He used to have some real sugar with a real cornflake. Now that thing is mini with like some kind of frost. I know it's called Frosted Flakes, but that don't look like the same sugar that I had.
That's true. Make your own frosted flakes with regular corn flakes. Just add a spoonfuls of sugar. Make it sweeter
Yo,
than
what you
frosted
trying to do?
flakes.
Fire Tony? You got Tony? You got something against Tony? Yo, you gotta be careful, man. You remember when Tony the
Oh,
Tiger came after the ones that killed?
sir, I did not mean for the glasses to almost come off.
Yeah, and the glasses come off and go. You got something against?
You know one cereal I am not nostalgic for? Wheaties.
I
Oh
I
yeah, you had
hated
to
Captain
jump.
It
Crunch
was,
because I used to cut up the top of my mouth. So I hated
dude.
Captain Crunch.
Have you ever had a bowl full of Wheaties?
Yeah, I
The
had.
bowl, it's like a bowl full of dry grass.
No,
Like,
no. The glasses gotta come off. Wheaties was horrible. You know why it was the breakfast of champions? Because only champions could eat that shit.
yeah.
yeah.
That was
That
like
thing,
Did you have your Wheaties? Like,
you had your Wheaties. We had some Olympic athletes on there, you know, because that was just
I
Wheaties.
remember the first time I saw Wheaties and like my parents were like, "Oh yeah, this is supposed to be good for you." And like I picked it up and I looked at it and I was like, "This looks like a rattan chair. Like what is this?"
Oh God.
Like seriously, it was the foulest tasting thing. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not at all nostalgic for that.
Mhm.
So, okay, so once again, we came full circle. This time we passed three people, and we're back to the mastermind himself. Yes, you.
Me again?
Yes,
I just went
you
twice.
again.
Oh,
How
you
is
could ask. No, you could ask Nova again.
it
Nova, what are you nostalgic for in recent years?
in recent years, I think, and this is what a lot of people I think have overlooked as well, like local multiplayer gaming,
Yeah.
because the market is so saturated with online that there's no more like you and your friends just on the couch playing a game together.
Yep, I
Mhm.
hear that. Do you remember back in the day we all used to just hold these gaming competitions,
Yep.
and like that used to be the bomb. Now I
That's
don't even think you can actually
I
like, can
think
you
that's one of the
imagine,
reasons why fighting games are dying. That's what I think.
Mhm.
because the social
Because
element isn't there
yeah,
anymore?
yeah, you
That's
fight against
that's fair,
people
right?
on
Because
yeah.
like when the only time we used to really go crazy over fighting games is when we were all in the same room. So
Hmm.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, so
Like
okay.
that's what Friday night fight nights were for.
Hmm.
Friday night fight nights. Yep. Yep.
So what I'm hearing you say, Kal-El, is another thing you're nostalgic for is fighting games, Street
Yeah.
Fighter, Fighting Street.
Well. Remember, fighting games was like therapy, man. You had the rage and you want to come back and fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nova over here tried to beat me with some guy that knew. Well, he was like on buck looking character. And I had to come in there,
Yes.
and I had to come in there
Uh,
with my Fei Long.
it was Fei Long versus Adon.
Adon, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, Fei Long versus Adon. And you know what I used to love about fighting games was the trash talking. Now this is a little bit basketball, you know what I'm saying? And there's another person out here we could call. We'll just call him the Vein. I used to just drag
Oh my god.
the Vein just
Oh
so I could
god.
see the vein pop out of his head. Because to me, the trash talking in the game was better than the game when you had people in the room. Now, when I say trash talking, I don't mean trash talking that's really going to get on your nerves and you're going to punch a wall or you're going to do something. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about some light trash talk,
Hours of entertainment,
hours of entertainment. That was our thing. That there, boom, boom, boom. You
Yeah,
know,
I remember when people used to be like locked in on something. It used to be like these social events, and now people are like locked in on their phone. They're like,
Hmm.
it used to be very different back then. Yeah, it wasn't even about the particular fight. We used to play like any fighting game, but the social experience was what made it fun.
yep. Or putting like 3 or 4 TVs together, not for one person to but 3 or 4 TVs to have 6 or 7 fights or some stuff
What
like that.
was what was
And
funny
just
about the
turn that
trash
room into a
talking?
furnace
Exactly.
from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
heat from those
Yeah.
TVs.
The fatback TVs.
What was funny was like when the trash talking, it didn't matter whether you win or lose. You still win or lose. You still trash talking.
And it was always no, run it back, run it back. Like,
Fact, 2 out of 3, don't hand over the
yeah,
controller.
3 out of
yeah.
5. 5 out of 7. 7 out of 9. Let's go.
Or even if you did hand off the controller, if someone did hand off the controller, you wanted to stay on to make sure you fought that person again. Like, nope,
Yeah,
bring it
yeah.
back.
Come back. I'm coming back.
I'm coming. Don't lose.
Yeah.
Don't lose.
Started bringing their own controller because they're like, no, it's a comfort, something wrong with your controller. My
Mhm.
hands, my thumbs know what to do with their. It's like, all right, bring it, plug it,
We used
play.
to be I used to be playing with I'd play against Kal-El in some cases, and like there were games where like you would see Kal-El has like 40 wins to my zero wins, and then I'd win one, and that was it.
Oh man,
That's what
That
Jay
was
did as
it.
well.
That was it.
all I had to do was
Kal-El
win
would
one,
never
and
live
that was
that
my
down.
championship. Yo,
Yeah.
you saw that? You let me beat you? Oh my god!
It's like,
I'm
that's it. I won. You
1 minute.
lose. But yeah, I think we should let people know that they should like, comment, and subscribe. In particular, if there's anything that they're nostalgic for, put it in the comments down below. And with that, we're back to Kal-El's turn.
What? How did my turn again?
if Carlisle was playing Uno, he would be stuck with a lot of cards right now. We should get the Uno thing and flip it around.
Oh,
Give him
God.
4 more cards. Or
You get one Uno reverse card.
I'm actually nostalgic for this, right? Because we're doing this in the futuristic space of, the internet. this is the closest thing we could get to all of us in the room these days. So,
Yeah.
hey, at least it's still there, you know, and we're still smiling.
You know,
And by the way,
speaking of things I'm nostalgic
speaking
for.
Nova Prime and Street Fighter, so just